What's up, y'all? It's Coach Justin. We're here again at the Sit Down Podcast. We have a very, 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 very special guest, my dog, Two Golson. What's up, brother? How's it going?
It's going good. What you been up to?
Chilling, man. Trying to put it all together, man. I got this round of applause going because this guy is actually the person that this show started with, bro. 4 years ago, we were just kind of running down memory lane and talking about that. When this became an idea of mine, I had just came off of I was on a hiatus from coaching. I hadn't coached in about 2-3 years. I had just started coaching like a little AAU team, and I was ready to start the training journey over again. So I came up with this idea, and I was like, man, I want to interview people, but I also want to incorporate my training business. Like, I want to turn it into a show. So if you remember, we did a training session at Castlemont. Me, you, a few more guys, a younger kid. I had a cameraman in there, had me mic'd up, had a couple. It was actually super dope. I loved it. And then I had you come down as one of the guests in the training session to the studio in Livermore at the time to interview. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take dope clips of the interview, and I'm going to intertwine it with dope teaching points of the workout and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I loved the idea. But then it was like multiple things. One thing was like just trying to get people to be able to train them and then interview in the studios way in Livermore, and we're mostly based out here, was tough. Number two was everybody was like, where's the rest of the interview? Where's the rest of the interview? Like, we want to hear the rest of the interview. And I'm like, I didn't even come into it thinking about like, damn, am I going to be good at interviewing people? I just kind of stumbled onto it. So then from then on, I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm just interviewing people. Fuck the training part. So round of applause for my dog, believing in me from the jump, man. Obviously, as a trainer, so I coached Tutu. I didn't really know Tutu, but I knew of him. Just a little bit of backstory again. And I promise I'm going to let him talk soon. But so I didn't really know him. I knew of him through the basketball world, just hearing his name, of him just hooping and all of this and that after, because he played behind Delani at City at first. So then it was the year Becker had hit me from Dominguez Hills. Was like, man, I want you to come down, be a player development, help be our connection to NorCal. I'm like, bet. I wasn't doing shit at the time. I think I was working at like Target or something. I'm like, shit, fucking, I'm out. This is my dream. I want to coach. Go down there. He's like, man, your first objective is Tutu. And I'm like, all right, bet. So he put us on the phone. Obviously, we knew a lot of the same people. We kind of made that happen. I had the ability to coach Tutu in college. And then we worked out like nonstop throughout his college career, even as a early pro. When Tutu came on the show the first time, it was right before his rookie season, out in
Germany, Cologne,
Germany. Okay. So we're going to start the story from there. I just want to give you guys who haven't seen that, because it's literally episode 1. I need to promote that again.
Man, got to. Got to run it back.
Yeah, just a little bit of backstory of he and I, and then we'll kind of just go from his rookie season and then his pro career now, kind of update us on what he has going, what he's working on now, and we'll go from there. So the floor is yours, brother. What's up with Tutu, man? How you been doing, man?
Man, I've been doing good. Like, it's been a slow process, slow grind, and it's been rewarding now. So, like, I'm at the last year, and then this year is going to be the most beneficial years for me overseas,
That's so dope, man. Just me knowing your career, how it started as always being, like, I don't want to say a late bloomer, but it's always somebody that, like, had to go above and beyond to kind of prove himself. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, it's definitely a late bloomer thing. It's like you don't get the respect you think you deserve. But then now looking back at it, each stage I looked at my game, I was like, oh, I could have been better there, could have been better there, but now I'm here, so it's okay. Like, So
do you feel like that, like, I'm the best I've been in my life?
I would say personally, I think this year, I think this is going to be the best year I will be in my life. I think so. I feel like this one's going to be the one, because now that I've been on every side of the fence, under-recruited, underappreciated, not by coaches though. Like, so most of my coaches love me. That's not the case, for most coaches. But I mean, like, with the recognition, what levels I'm supposed to be at. Now I played at the lower level, being the guy. I played at a higher level, being like a defensive guy. And now this level is going to be the one where I put it all together. So I think this is going to be the best year I have.
That's actually an interesting point, and I promise I could talk to you all day about it. But before we get in that, let's go back to Tutu's rookie year. After the interview that summer, I think we might have did it like around this time, maybe around that year. I think it was 2019, literally my very first show. Talk to me about what you remember from your rookie year. I'm a pro now. Obviously, I'm not where I want to be, but I know I can still get to where I want to be through this vessel. So talk to us about your rookie year as much as you can remember. How was that for Tutu at the time? Being in another country for the first time.
Yeah, all that played, like, it was a lot my first year, to be honest. Like, first off, I didn't start working out until like 3-4 weeks before I even got that job. You know, I was working at UPS before that for like a year and a half, you know, so I stopped playing basketball altogether, and that just popped up one random night from Coach Becker. So then when I got out there, I was so excited because I was like, man, this is my dream right here. So when I first got there, I was staying in a hotel for like a week or two in the city center, and it just looked like a cartoon. I swear it looked like everything was just popping out and like Looney Tunes, like, because it looked so
different.
Yeah, it just looked like, you know. So then when we got to start playing and stuff, it was a little different too, because I'm more used to like athletic guys, you know, one-on-one situations, you know. And then that was my first year. It was a bit of a struggle trying to like incorporate my game and their game together, and then, you know, trying to, you know, find it, you know. And being removed from basketball for like a year and a half, 2 years, you don't have the touch and stuff you usually have from working out.
It takes a while to get that back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the first year I struggled shooting a lot. So everything else was on point though, you know, like my speed and stuff like that, you know, me being the person I am, like everything was cool. But then I think around Christmas break, I also hit like a homesickness period. I ain't never had that before. But that time, from like November to like until I came home in December, like that was the worst basketball I ever played in my life.
Really?
Worst basketball. It was one game where like I think I started, and then second half I think I played like 4 minutes, and I didn't play no more.
You were playing that bad?
Yeah, I was playing that bad.
Was it something that happened that kind of put you into that funk, or was it just a period of time of being away, having to adjust, maybe not playing your best basketball, a little bit of I don't want to say depression. I don't want to put that on you, but just, you know, like a funk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it a specific event that caused that, or just time doing this thing?
I think time was doing this thing. Self-realization, like this your first time away from home that far. Like I've been in Mississippi on my own. I've been in LA on my own. But then you're across the water on your own. Then now like the people and the culture is so different. Like I won't say it's not understanding, but to a point it's not understanding of who you are and what you're accustomed to. Like the jokes ain't the same. Like, you know, it's still fun though. Don't get me wrong. It's just everything is just so different. So you know,
it's a different world.
Yeah. So you learning everything about them. You're enjoying it, but then after a moment, you're in that room by yourself a lot of the times. You know, you're by yourself a lot of the time. So you get to think by yourself a lot. So I think that's what it was.
Not so hot of a year, but you had the ability to go back.
Oh, they so in August we had preseason. I was hooping in preseason, and then the last preseason game I actually tore my hamstring.
This is your first year.
This is my first year, and I thought I was gonna get sent home, so I was crying. And they was like, "What you crying about?" I was like, "I'm about to go home." They was like, "Bro, no," because our GM and our coach believed in chemistry.
Gotcha.
He's like, "Once I get you, that's what it is. That's the year we're going through. We might add players, but we won't send people home, you know."
That could be dope.
And you know, so that was good. So then once I was like, I think 9 weeks recovered, I think this was like November, I start playing again, and then they offered me in November to come back. They was like, if we move up or we stay fourth league, we want you back. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like I signed, like, you know, like, so I ended up signing like in January to come back.
Okay.
But they offered me in November of that year. So I was only there for 2-3 months when they offered me, you know.
Dope.
So there's like, it's not just your game, but it's the person you are too. Like we like you.
Right.
You fit us.
So coming off that first year, obviously you talked about your struggles, probably had some hot moments here and there just because you know how to play, probably getting your feel back. How did you come into that summer off season, knowing I'm coming back home, knowing I'm going to have to bump with, you know, some of Oakland's, you know, Bay Area's best talent because you tapped into that circle.
Yeah.
Training with some of the best trainers. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So did you have like a game plan coming in? So I need to work on this. I need to work on that.
The good thing about the team I played for was like our GM Stefan was one of the Germany's well-known basketball players, like including Dirk. Like he's well-known for basketball. Like he has a World Cup.
Oh, wow.
My head coach for the first 2 years he just retired. Literally, I think like 1 to 3 years before I got there, he just retired from EuroLeague. Oh, wow. So he's a combo guard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then our assistant coaches, they loved working out people like Kata, we had a women's coach. She loved working people out, and then we had Ollie. They both loved working people out. So we had exit meetings at the end of the year where like they would tell you what you needed to work on. My big thing was shooting the ball way more at a higher rate.
Right.
So I think my first year I probably shot maybe 2 threes a game, 3 a game. Mm-hmm. JJ and cut it and was like, that's not gonna cut it. We need you to move it up to 6, 7 a game, you know, and that means transition threes because it's open. So take them, like, you know, and that's what they were teaching me, like open shots, no matter how early or how late it is, take it. Mm-hmm. It's the best shot we gonna get from, you know. So they incorporated that. They had me watch players. They had me watch Nash. Had me watch David Holston for shot creation, little guard. He played like Champions League in France now, but he played EuroLeague with JJ. Mm-hmm. He's like 5'7". They had me watch Campazzo for passing off the pick and roll. They had me watch Tony Parker for finishing, like, you know, little slick finishings and stuff like that. So during the year, we already had workouts like in the morning, Tuesday, Thursday, guard workouts. So all that played a role into it. So when we kind of like progressed out of the season, I knew what I had to do, you know. Mm-hmm. So I had everything intact already when I've been posting and watching for, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was a good thing, you know.
That's amazing. And then not only you having that information there, but you being receptive to it and you being, because me knowing you're a sponge. You want to learn. You always want to get better. Yeah. Most of the conversations you and I talk about is how do I do this? How do I do that? So that's dope. Again, both things that they were able to offer you that, and then you were also receptive to it.
And then the second part would be that's when COVID started too. So you remember that was the hardest part.
Yeah.
So the hardest part was just getting in the gym with people, you know. Yeah. So I think like that time, like even not playing basketball, and they'd been doing it year round with me, like, you know, for like 8 months straight or 6 months straight, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Like having that time off and having that part of your game already installed in you, so it wouldn't be like, oh, they're giving me so much information at one time. My game finally received a lot of it at once, you know. So the time off, and then I got back in the gym with y'all that summer too. Right. Even though it was COVID, because I was with you sometimes, and then I was with Floyd. You know Floyd, A5, A5. Yeah. So I was with him a lot too. So you know, it's different workouts, you know, different people, you know. So that was a good thing, you know, coming back home and getting the bump you need against, you know, other guards and stuff like that. You know, we have a lot of them here, so you know.
How does it feel for you? And this is kind of jumping the gun in the story, but like for your like late blooming, like how does it feel watching your peers kind of gain more and more respect for you year in and year out? Because I know you have to see it, because I see it.
I remember the first interview you asked me that too.
Did I?
Yeah, you asked me that. It was a similar question. And I told you, I said I didn't realize how good I was getting when I was going to City. We used to have open gyms at Chabot when everybody come up there. DA, Bari, Juan, everybody up there, you know. And that's everybody like prime time basketball right there. Rob Bobby came up there a couple of times, you know. But you know we had Delani, everybody up there. Right. And that was the first time I knew I was getting good, is when them guys would walk in the gym and be like, "What's up, too?" And that's when I was looking around like,
just acknowledgement.
Like, bro, what? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dope. Like, you can't know me nothing else other than basketball, really, you know, at that time. So it's kind of like, that's when I realized I was like, when I start getting those names, and then after that following, it'd be like, okay, after I think Dorian Dominguez, then Dame started saying what's up to me. But I already knew of Dame before because I used to watch him at Brookfield when he was at Weber. He came up to Brookfield a couple of times. Him and Maceo had like a little dunk contest and stuff up there before. So then, but when everybody started saying my name and stuff like that, I was like, oh, snaps. Like, you know, and like for instance, when you said you knew of me, but I knew of you too. Like, because you know, your name big in big in Oakland basketball. So to have somebody be like, oh, I know of him. Like, you know, like I watch him a bit. Like, and then KP started working me out, you know, at that time. Like, you know, little stuff started happening, you know, and that's why
it's like climbing the ranks.
Yeah, it's climbing the ranks, you know. Then like now me, that's crazy. Hamid just told me yesterday. He's like, now that Ish is retired, he said you and Four is my favorite players. Wow. He literally told me out of the car. He's like, you and Four is my favorite players now. Dope. So to have that, yeah, you know what I'm saying. To have that is kind of like. That's like I'm getting there now.
And media is one of them too.
Yeah,
and that's why I love. Obviously, I don't hoop no more, but just still being in that circle, and like we're like a brotherhood. We don't all hang out all the time. We don't talk all the time, but whenever we do link up, it's like nothing but love. And I say that so much on this show. But it's crazy because we kind of might not appreciate it as much as we should because it's just our norm. Like, we just
Yeah.
normally like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like once you get into that brotherhood, you locked in no matter what. You know what I mean?
It's over with.
So let's go into year 2. So obviously you spend that summer working out. You obviously know how much you want to get better. I remember those calls because back then you and I would watch film together when you would be over there. You know, you would be sending me specific clips like, how do I get to this spot faster?
Yeah.
Little things like that. So I knew what you kind of wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like training you is because it's like you're never gonna complain. You're gonna work hard, and then you also offer insight. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that didn't feel too good on that one. It's like, okay, well, how do we adjust it to make you come?
Yeah.
And that's why I like working out with you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't really like training like that no more for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
But whenever you call, it's like I'll try to make it happen just off the fact of, you know, I enjoy training you. So yeah, let's go into year 2, bro, and just how you're now I'm a second year pro. What is Tutu's mindset like in that moment?
Okay, so first year we played 4th league, which was way slower. Second year we moved up because that's when COVID happened. We was already like 23-1 or 22-1 or something like that. So they agreed that we move up. But my coaches and everybody already agreed. It was like 4th league was way too slow for you.
For you.
Yeah, they was like, it's way too slow for you. So that's why this stuff wasn't working for you. They was like, but 3rd league is going to be way better for you because it's faster and more athletic. So they agreed to that together. They was like, yeah, that's like, so don't even worry about it. Like, you know, your stuff going to come together. So then when we got to 3rd league, it was no fans because you remember COVID. So no fans, no nothing. Just I don't think we can really go to the gym like that if you wasn't with your team, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But that year was when everything started to fall together. I think my first year I averaged 14-4. But if you don't look at the numbers and you just look at how I did it, it was sloppy as hell. It was sloppy as hell. It was everywhere, you know? The second year, everything jumped up to like, I think, what we averaged, like 15, 16, and 7, like 15.6 or 16 points and 7 assists, but it looked great. It looked like, okay, now everything they said is
it's looking comfortable and
yes.
it's flow. Yeah.
I think I shot like 5 threes a game. I'm shooting like 38 from 3, and it's like off the dribble too, you know? Like, so the first 2-3 games, I'm doing it. And then that's when I was like, cool. And that's another thing when we just talked about your peers saying something, you know, like I had a young player named Tibor, but he was young, but he came back to Cologne because he wanted to study. But he played in the 1st league and at 17, so he signed like a 2-3 year deal, you know? So like he used to always like ask me like, bro, why are you here playing 4th league? Like kind of in like not a disrespectful way, but like he's like, this is
too good for this.
This is not even too good. Like this is shit, and like you shouldn't be like. Why you want to just stay home? Like basically, like stay home.
Oh wow.
But 3rd league, when we played 3rd league, and I did that, he played that year with me, and then he finally gave me a 2. He's like, hey, I'm not even gonna lie. He's like, you got a lot better, like, you know. And that's when I was like, okay, cool. This European stuff might work out for me, you know. Like it might work out. So then that year we wasn't that good. We started off hot. We started off like 5-0, but then we ran into a rut because we went into we had to go into
quarantine.
Yeah, quarantine for 2 weeks. So then we went back into a rut and we got like sloppy and stuff. And then, but I was playing well though, you know, like it looked well for me too, you know. And then I broke my ankle.
Oh wow.
I think I broke my ankle, so I got like a man-made band in my ankle now. I had to get surgery like in February. Somebody fell on it. So then that was the thing. They offered me again to come back because they was like, yeah, there's like no problem. Like, you know, like it's not a big surgery. It's like soccer players have it all the time. You know, it was good. You had a great season. Like, you know, out of 15 games, like, you know, I averaged 15 and 7 or something like that. They was like, you can leave and go second league for sure. But the GM's like, to maximize your stuff, like you should come back and, you know, and this with no agent. These 2 years is with no agent, you know, no agent at all, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't worried. I'll just come back, sure, whatever, you know. And it was no pressure. He's like, you can leave or you can come back, whichever one. The door's open. And I end up like, that's how my season ended up finishing. Like everything they gave me from first year ended up playing a big part in the second year.
Got you.
So, you know, so I got a bigger role in that year, you know.
And then, so how long were you out with your ankle?
I was out from February, and I recovered in like April, but I stayed out there till May to rehab. So I stayed all the way out there until May to rehab, and I came back home.
And then when you came home, you were 100%?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so how was this off season? Do you you know you're coming back now. You kind of know what to expect because you guys are still in third league. You know the game speed. You know what you need to work on. So then, how was this off season?
So now they telling me I need to work on my because a lot of times over here we flip the ball to find the laces.
Yep.
That's normal. So now they telling me how to catch the ball. Like so we doing rapid fire shooting without thinking about.
Yep.
So now we working on your shot.
People don't understand
faster.
how much of a difference that split second makes on the shot.
So now they moving like now how they make us plant one and step in.
Yep.
They like no, ain't no step in.
Yep. Catch and shoot.
Not catch and shoot. Yep. So now we working on little things like the details and everything. My pickups off the pick and roll, like off pull ups. Like now we working on not holding the ball when I go to a mid range, because I like to jump high and then shoot high,
Yep.
So they like, nah, it won't work for you. You're too short for that. They're like, if you're 6'3", it'd be okay. But it's like, yeah, it got to be one motion. Everything got to be one motion no matter what. So that's the next step we had to do, and that's when we start doing a thing on YouTube, I believe.
Oh yeah, for your documentary.
Yeah, for my stuff. Yep. So that's when we I think I made that page. No, I made the page the third year. Okay, yeah. So then, but we still was working out that summer. So now we getting more runs in because it's not so strong on COVID. So now we getting more runs in.
Right.
It's cool now, Yep. So like, yeah.
So this is going into year 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, what's your how do you feel going into this year? Do you feel prepared? Do you feel nervous, anxious, coming off an injury? Like, what is your mindset like going into the year 3?
My mind was tired that summer.
Tired? Really?
Because like I never had to rehab that long before for anything. And like it was an injury that was, they said wasn't severe. I'll be back 100% for sure, which they were correct. But when I was rehabbing, like they kept telling me in rehab, we kept saying, okay, this week we're gonna move up, because I was passing all the tests. Like I had no problem passing the jumping test, no nothing. They're like, okay, this week we're gonna move up. We get to that week, we still doing the same things, and I'm just like, don't tell me that if we're not gonna do it, like that's playing, So then in April they like, oh, you'll be able to get back on the court, no contact, you can work out a little bit, move a little bit, see how it feel, and then it come to April and they be like, no, you can't. I'd be like, why? I've just passed all the tests y'all gave me with flying colors, not the second time, the first time,
right?
And then May would come in and I just like, all right, I'm tired, and I ain't gonna lie, I took a, like I wasn't even taking that summer serious at all, because like I was just like, my mind got so tired of rehab, not playing, but rehab is like different. Like I never knew how different that was, because that was the first time I went to rehab, So I was just like, man, yeah, I'm gonna just chill a little bit. I hoop, I work out. I'm gonna still rehab my stuff, because I was with Rob. He got this little TDF Fitness. He was in Hayward at that time, so I was messing with him and OC and running with them a little bit, but it wasn't basketball related really, So then that's when I think I went into year 3 more unprepared than I did the first 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did that translate? Like, did you play well?
We actually got a new coach, because our coach finally, like, he really never wanted to be our coach. So he wanted to just train guys there, but he ended up being our coach. So he ended up becoming a teacher instead. So he had a young kid too. I think his kid was like 1 or 2 years old. So he wanted to spend more time with him as well. So then we got a new coach, and our system was crazy. Our preseason was crazy. So like me coming in unprepared like that was like, all right, let me do something real quick. So I took out a lot of stuff in my diet. Like I was like, okay, yeah, forget it. No meat for the next 2 months. So like I was like, okay, cool. It's only water and sometimes orange juice in this diet. Like, like for the next 2 months. Like, so I didn't do nothing, because then that's the first time I met 2 practices in a day. And when I say 2 practices, I mean 2 practices. So like not no workouts. It was Monday through Friday, 2 practices. We playing against BBL dudes. We playing against BBL teams. We playing second league teams, first league teams. We playing Luxembourgs. And that's when I knew, like, okay, yeah, you messed up too. You messed up. But then I needed that break too. So I was just like, it's all good. Like, I'm a reel it out, And that was a struggle too, because our team we wouldn't get together in that system he wanted it for us. And especially I wasn't making it no better either. Like, because I was frustrated, so I wasn't making it no better either. And as a leader, you can't do that. So I was unprepared.
And then how did that season go?
Ooh. I mean, for me or for the team?
Both.
For me, the first 5 months of that season was a hazard. Like for me, like yeah, I was putting up stats, but it was back to like almost year one stats. Like like you putting up the stats, but it don't look good doing it. Like you forcing stuff because like y'all got a system that you don't even understand. No one else understand on our team. So like it was just wasn't good. Then on top of that, we was 2-13 at that time. So we really was bad. When we was supposed to, I think we were projected to finish 5th. So we was like 2-13, and then I think like January, that's when they decided to fire the coach. Our GM became the head coach, and then he actually made the system a lot more simple, because we had a lot of young kids too, and like for me, I ain't gonna lie, I was blaming the young kids. So I was like, bro, y'all want these dudes to be who they not, but not understanding like sometimes they need simplicity too. So the simplicity helped us a lot with them, which helped us in general. So when he just put some fake old play in, I passed it to the right wing, I put my head underneath the rim, I got a screen coming out, I swing it, give me the ball. If I give it to the post, no, he do a step up screen, and then you got everybody moving just like that. That's it. And if we would have fired the coach 2 games before, we would have made playoffs.
Wow.
Like, because we went on a crazy run that second half. So then, and that's when my stats actually jumped a lot too. Like, you can see it jumped a lot. Like the shots I was making and stuff jumped a lot. I think I ended up finishing that year, including the play downs, shooting 41 from 3 at 6 a game. I averaged 23 and 5, I think. 23 and 5. So that was like one of my better individual years, but as a team struggled. But then I ended up getting my actual first agent, which was a French dude. He ended up watching us, and I ended up signing with him. I had like 5 agents I talked to that year.
Okay.
So yeah.
And this is the end of year 3.
Yep.
Okay. And then so how was it for you that first off season with an agent?
It was very different than not having an agent, because like, to be honest, I had 2 teams from Pro A reach out to me, which is second league Germany, without an agent. They just slid my deal without an agent, so I could have moved up without an agent and kept it like that, But having an agent benefited me more because like the other 4 agents I talked to, they reached out to me and it was kind of like, yeah, we don't know if you'll be able to get in this league or that league. You'll have to, if you do move up to second league Germany, you'll have to take a pay cut. And I'm like, a pay cut? I was like, I already don't make nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't make nothing right now. So what you talking about, a pay cut? Like, like as a American too, a pay cut? Like you could have kept, you would have sold me more on just saying you got to keep the same salary,
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like talking to him. And then he makes me in May. He makes me go to a first team in France. So I'm working out with them for like 2 weeks, maybe like a week and a half. And he knows the coach, and that coach loves to take chances on players. Like he really don't care, That's his thing. So we're in France. He like first 2 days, like I like this kid a lot. So I like him a lot. But it was such a high jump from third league Germany to first league France, which is first league France is like top 4 in Europe. He's like, I don't know if I can do it, but if you want to send him second league, I'll vouch for him. And France second league is the best second league in all of Europe. So whatever you do there, like you can average 12 and 4, and you're gonna be a first league somewhere, getting your money, what you deserve, So he did that for us, and my agent used to be the GM of Lille, the team I just played for. So, like, that worked out cool, too. So, it wasn't that long where he was just like, oh, I got 2 teams interested, but 1 team only offered, which is the team I went to, Lille. So, I ended up signing with them. So, then that went right. That was the smoothest I had, like, off-season. I didn't have no worries because it's my first time with an agent, He got me where he said he was going to get me, and it worked out exactly how he said it was going to work out, Right. So, that was cool.
And then how did the season go for you?
The season was up and down for me. It wasn't about the talent level, or it wasn't how hard the league was, which a lot of people assumed for me. They was like, oh, you just got to adjust to the league. No, it wasn't. I wasn't adjusting to that league. It ironically ended up being the same system my last coach got fired for.
Wow.
So I'm looking at this system. I'm like kind of like just smiling like in August. Like I'm like, yeah, it's raps for me. Like like it's raps. Like cause it like that system, it took everything out of my hand. Like like I don't do nothing. So like when you're not comfortable, you look lost,
Yep.
and when you lost, you lose confidence,
Yep.
and when you lose confidence, now you don't even trust yourself.
Yep.
So the season went well for the team though. We finished fourth. We was predicted 17th. We got one of the lowest budgets in the team. In the league. It's 18 budgets. We have the 17th worst budget.
Wow.
So our team was built on on hope and opportunity. This is what they told us, like hope and opportunity. Like if you come here, you can get something better. Blah blah blah. And it worked well for everyone on that team. I would say besides me.
Really?
Yeah, I would say besides me. Like where I'm going now, first league feeling, I love the idea of it. If I didn't go there first, you know what I'm saying. But it's not the worst case scenario for me. So like I'm actually happy about it. I don't want nobody. I don't want to take nothing from it. Like I'm happy about it. But the situation I'm in and where I'm from, it's kind of like I went to that second league hoping I would be able to maneuver my family into a different ball game.
Got you.
So now I gotta wait another year potentially to get what I need.
Yeah.
So like it's a, I won't say it's a Hail Mary, but like it's still a needle in the haystack type of thing.
Yeah.
So
It's still more work to be done, even more than expected.
even more than expected. So like when I looked across the league, like everybody that was doing something in that league or got the opportunity to do something, like I never meant like averaging 18 points, like
Yeah.
finished fourth on average like 12-4. I would have got first league somewhere for sure.
Right.
But I finished averaging 8-4 coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And now people don't see it. Like coaches don't want to see it how you would see a game. Like okay, 8-4, but how did he do it? Like like I see. Like their system is for the 4 or 5 man,
Right.
giving it to the post. When we do run a play, the pick and rolls for the 2 guard. So what is he doing? Oh, he got to pick up full court, do what he can do because it's not in his hands. Which it was like that was the part I struggle with. Is like what am I here for? Like like if it's just for this, you could have got a French guy and replaced me with an American big. You know what I'm saying? Since you're giving the ball to a big man anyway, and that's how I felt. Like it was no disrespect. I loved the year though. Like it was a growing year to like because I talked a lot with one of my teammates and he just like you gotta for now on, now that you've seen it, you going like it's now that you've seen it, I understand why America get a stigma of like being a dickhead or asshole because
Bad attitude.
bad.
Yeah.
But I get it now because you got to go in there with your head down and you know why.
Yeah.
Because I was sold on the fact that if we win, and I'm thinking winning means we finished fourth, we good. Like I'm gonna get what I need to get. But what they meant by winning is like you got to finish first or nothing. Like it's first or nothing.
Right.
And I didn't understand it. I thought winning, like, okay, y'all predicted a 17th. We finished fourth. And I'm thinking coach is going to look at it like, okay, the last 10 years, these dudes ain't make playoffs 8 of the years.
Right.
And if they did make playoffs, they finished like 6th or 8th.
How much do you think because obviously you handled that situation, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it sounds like you handled it better than most people would being in that situation.
Yeah.
When you're in a system that you already don't believe in, you're in a new country, you're playing at a new league, and you have your own plans as to how this is gonna go and what's next, and then you're thrusted into this situation where you only have so much control.
Yeah.
So how much of your past, like let's say your San Francisco City College situation, how much do you think you going through that kind of helped you get through this later in life? Or do you think it played a part at all?
The city thing might be the best one. Because I think my first year I played like 5 minutes a game.
Right. That's what made me go to that.
So I think like being in that, like I love that team.
Right.
That team was fun as hell.
That's like an all-time team, right?
it's supposed to be, but they
don't revere it as that.
Like I be telling them, I don't care what y'all say. Like, bro, y'all would have struggled. A lot of those teams that once
that's Delani's year. Right?
Yeah.
From what I remember,
it was Jamel on that team too.
Yeah, right.
Me and Jamel was like the 11th, 12th guy on that team.
From what I remember, that team was. I don't know to say that's an all-time team, but I know from our generation that was one of the teams.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
But that situation did help a lot though. But that team, I love that team though. Like, off the court, on the court, like
it wasn't the same, man.
Like them, like when I played with them at City, like they made it feel like, oh, bro, you one of us no matter what, like, and they didn't really care about who did what, When you become a professional, even when people say they don't care about it, they do.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
Like. You do.
It is a difference when you're playing for scholarships versus when you're playing to feed your family.
Yeah, exactly, But the thing is, in my mind, I'm thinking like, none of y'all need to feed your family. Y'all in a good-ass country. I need to feed my family.
Right.
Like, so like that city was like a lot different, but it did help in a way where I was like, it's all good. I'll keep my spirits high. We good. I'm doing a lot of other things, so I was like, it's not as bad as it seems, like, so it's all good. That's what the mindset I just had, like, like I'll smile, y'all be all right.
So just for people watching, maybe if I'm a young kid and I'm in college and because before I ask you this question, people don't realize, and I talk about this a lot with just when I'm talking basketball and the state of basketball now and just my career period, it's like people don't understand how much of shit has to go right in order for people to make it to play professional basketball. Meaning, you have to play the right game in front of the right person. I'm going to start young. You have to play the right game in front of the right person to get an opportunity. Then you get that opportunity. That opportunity then has to mesh. This head coach and the assistants going down the line, we're all different personalities that are humans first. We have to connect on some level.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not all the time is there disrespect in between. Sometimes personalities just don't mix.
Yeah.
Right? So then not only that has to happen in your favor, and then it has to be a system that highlights my strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It has to be.
And I'm talking we're still at the collegiate level, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to play these, 4 years, let's say, in hoping that they don't bring somebody in younger than me to take my position.
Yeah.
That I have to battle it out every. You know what I mean? It's like, and not all of this shit is in my control. I could work my ass off. I could be a great person. I could be a great student. I could do all the right things, and it still might not work in my favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So talk about how hard it is to kind of remain a good teammate, keep your head high, keep high spirits like you mentioned. Still keep your eye on the prize and realize, like, I got a goal that I'm going to get, and I'm not going to let this deter me. So when you're this is Finland?
No, I was in France this year.
Okay. Yeah, so when you're in France and you're sitting by yourself and the times get hard and you're asking yourself, man, what am I doing here? And all these questions, how do you keep your head on straight, persevere through the hurdles, and keep going? Like, what does Tutu do?
All right. So what I do is I maintain busyness. So I started taking a French class.
Oh, wow.
Online at Fullerton JC. I started taking a French class online.
Wow.
So that's one way I got busy. Another way, I have a journal. I learned how to have a journal my second year in Germany because the first year was so hard. So I ended up having a journal. So then I started seeing hella little things like, oh, if you should empty your mind, because if you don't empty it, it becomes scrambled, So then you start overthinking and stuff like that. So I end up having a journal. Just sometimes, like, I don't write every day, but like when I feel like it's hard, I start writing. So I empty my mind. So I have a journal I keep with me all the time. So that's two things. I have a French class. I have a journal. Third, I end up making a second Instagram page for just like my experiences, like the way I viewed it, not how it is or how it is for everyone, but the way it's been for me personally,
Through your lens.
Yeah, through my lens. So it doesn't make it wrong or right. It's just my experience, And then the fourth was like I got outside a little bit more too. So I actually left my house a lot more, but it was hard at first because we practiced twice a day for the entire year. So like we were practicing, like I'll leave my apartment at 8, get back at 1 p.m. and then we have practice again at 4:30 film, and then I'll go back in the house at 8:39.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was no room
To do anything.
But then I was just like, forget it. Like, I can't sit and keep doing this. So I would go out, go have a meal here. I think in October I end up going. We had one day off. I think in October. That one day was like October 21st. I drove to Paris, 2 hours away. I drove to Paris, went to Kendrick concert.
Oh, I remember you posting that.
Went there, went back home. I started doing little things like that. Then I actually end up playing down the street from Odera Cheatham. You know who Odera Cheatham is? She went to Bishop O'Dowd, went to Duke. She played. She went to WNBA.
Oh, I saw you guys posting.
Yeah,
because obviously I follow you on.
She's from Oakland.
Okay, wow.
So she ended up being down the street. She ended up coming to one of my games on accident because they knew some other people on the other team, and then she reached out to me on Instagram, and then we started kicking it so much. So then I ended up having her, my homie Mike Ojane, he from LA. He ended up playing like 30 minutes away too. I met him out there as well. And then my teammate Leanne Phillips, he from Canada. We all kicked it together. So we made a circle. So including we met two more people. That was one was Cameroon. His name is Orich. That was one of one of my best friends. Then my homie Kevin, and then Leanne cousin as well. So we end up having like a cool circle, where we kicked it. Like, we go eat here, go to the game here. They come to my game, go to the next game. Like, so the days we got off. So those were the things I did. I made a pack outside of basketball. I had a journal. I got a second Instagram page. I was taking French lessons. So, like, I was keeping my mind busy at all points,
So, season ends. You come home. You know for a fact you're not going back there.
Yeah, I know for a fact.
So now what's your mindset? This is year 2 with an agent, same agent?
Yep, this is year 2 with the same agent.
Now, obviously, you got a plan of, I need to go to the next level. I need to move up, pretty much. So, what's your off-season plans at this point? This is pretty much the beginning of this.
Mine is to find a league that I think suits me after going from that league.
Gotcha.
Even though I didn't put up that many stats and like everybody knows, coaches don't look at games. They look at stats first. I don't care what anyone, when they oversee, they look at stats first, because they kept telling me winning was the most important, And I was like, how is that so when y'all only have one American per team in this league? You think you're gonna pick me over somebody that just averaged 18-5?
What?
When it's one American per team,
What?
And my thought process is like, okay, so I'm gonna find a league that suits me. I was like, I want to go to Poland, Hungary. I want to go to Romania, and then I gave him one more country. I think I gave him Italy A2, second league. I was like, I want to go to one of those 4, or I want to stay in this league but a different team. So I gave him those options. Like, these are the ones I want to go. And that was the thought process for me. So I was like, it should happen because the league I just played in, no matter what my stats look like, I'm thinking,
right,
if winning matters, then I should be able to get in this league, no matter what, which is not the case, So I kind of got very antsy about it, like, I ain't hearing nothing, like, what's good, like, like, at that moment, I'm just like, okay, now I feel like I'm being lied to, which
by your agent,
yeah,
or
just like, it's the first time you got to trust somebody else. For me, personally, like, in my life, I've been doing everything by myself. My mom would tell you. My mom didn't tell me to go to school. My mom didn't tell me to go here. My mom didn't tell me to go to this school. My mom didn't tell me to take this job. Like, I did that. My mom just sat there and be like, all right, I'm with you. So it's my first time I got to trust somebody else to be like, bro, like, now I don't think you know about me enough.
Is it obviously coming from Oakland? Is that has to be tough for you because we naturally have a chip on our shoulder with trust issues and all of these things. So when you're putting your future and livelihood literally in somebody else's hand, how are you processing that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it started to make me, like, I won't say angry, but it kind of made me more aggressive too, like, towards talking to him or talking to somebody else about it, Like, it made me aggressive about it, like, where it's like, he's not a bad person at all, trust me. But then when they say business is business, right?
Right.
And that's how I feel. I feel like if I wasn't, I won't say I was forced to stay, but if I told you like I don't think this fits for me, and I was like encouraged to stay,
This is France.
yeah, if I was encouraged to stay that year, and I feel like early enough where I'd be like, this not for me, and you encouraged me to stay, and you said winning matters, or you said, oh, stats not everything, and then on top of that, I'm not starting no more either, you know, because it fits the other guard better than it fits me, you know, and I feel like, yeah, that's didn't make sense, you know, so like for me, I was kind of like, okay, like now I'm about to use all these things against him. Like, bro, you said this, and it's not panning out how you did the first year, you know? When you said this, and it all worked. Now you said this, and it's hella
Now
different.
you're literally getting to see the other side of the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's my first time seeing that now, you know? And that made it hard, like, you know? But then he popped up some things. I'm not gonna lie, I did have an offer from the Brussels, from Belgium league. But I didn't feel like that was a good league to go to from coming from that league, or a good team to go from coming from that league, you know? So I felt like it was more of a rebuilding period they was on, and I wouldn't own that, you know? Because personally, I'm tired of helping other people rebuild, you know? Where I need to start, you know, moving
Reaping
up.
the benefits of-
So, yeah, something that, you know, going to low-budget teams all the time, you know, doing this and this for that, you know? Like, so it's the same thing. Like, so, like, yeah, that made me a bit antsy. But I did have an offer from him early on, like in like March, I think.
So what was it that made you ultimately? Because you didn't fire him, you kept him.
No,
So what was it that?
I end up putting a little pressure on him, like, you know, like not threats or nothing, but like, bro, like you just like you said this, and I know I can get there. Like, you know, I know I said this, bro. I gave you 5 countries. Like, you telling me out of those teams, those 4 or 5 countries, I can't get one, you know. But then he popped up like an Iceland, and I wasn't. I was just like, yeah, I'll try it, but I'm not big on it, you know. So I started being a lot more straightforward with him, like, you know, like not allowing him to say something and me not having my actual thought on it, you know?
Right.
Like, so when you bring up a team, I'm going to tell you, like, nah, I don't really like that one, but you can talk to him, you know?
Right.
So then this one ended up popping up, which was Finland, and I was like, looked it up a bit, I was like, okay, they got some stuff in there. When you do top 3, you can go somewhere from there, you know? So I thought about that a lot.
So you are signed now. What's the name of the team?
As Kotka, I think. Yes,
In Finland.
yeah, in Finland, it's like an hour from Helsinki,
Okay.
which is like a big city in there. Yeah, it's Scandinavian countries. So
And do you know when you leave? When do you leave?
no, I'm supposed to leave the end of this month or early September.
Okay.
So no time soon.
So how are you preparing now in this off season for?
This off season, I've been, of course, you know, I mess with the Ripties,
Right.
which is all the boys that play together that we mentioned earlier. Basically, it's like if you're in that brotherhood, then you have a team. So I play in like a Monday league with them. I played in the money tournament with them. I've been playing SF Pro-Am during the week as well. I've been working out at the city with Fale for my first time. I've been working out at
That's my dog.
Cal State East Bay for sometimes. I've been with Timadal Yusuf the whole summer. We go to every gym possible to work out. I lift weights at East Bay. I lift weights at City. I lift weights at Bayfair 24-hour fitness. I got a plan from I got a workout plan from Chow, from Coach Chow. She's a trainer at Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Okay.
She's a weight trainer, so I get my program from her every summer, you know. So I wasn't able to go down to LA this summer really much because that's where my main trainer Kaipo is. But now he's leaving. He's going to Chaminade.
Oh wow.
So
That's Hawaii, right?
yeah. But then this month, since it's like a month out now, this is where I chip all the way down. Like where okay, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we're gonna have 3 workouts. We got the basketball workout, weight workout, and then we're gonna have shooting. So we're gonna do 3 in a day. Wednesday is gonna be 2. It's gonna be basketball workout and weights only, you know, and then maybe some running like for 2 days, you know. So 4 or 5 weeks straight, just like that. So that's what I've been doing.
Talk about expectations for this year. You know, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? What is a good season for you? Like, what are you preparing to do?
Honestly, I'm preparing to be the guy again. That's what I'm preparing to. I want to prepare because they made the playoffs the last 2 years, but they haven't got over the hump for first round. I want to be the guy, and I want to be the guy that helps them get to the second round. You know, so that's the expectation I have. Like coming from what I just did or didn't do, now I have an expectation of what I want to do and what they want me to do too. So like.
So you guys are on the same page.
Yeah. So I made sure talking to the coach this time, like I'm more straightforward. As well. Like that's the thing. Being more straightforward was the big thing for me. So like,
I think that's a thing that we all can learn from, because when you are that way naturally, they deem you hard to work with.
Yeah.
An asshole. Some of those adjectives we
used
earlier.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with that too, man. It's like, especially even coming from corporate America, it's like you don't really want to speak up for yourself because you're already black. So it's almost that imposter syndrome to where you should feel happy to be in this position. You should feel grateful to be here. You never want to seem ungrateful. But then at the end of the day, it's like, bro, I got to take care of me, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to have my best interest at the peak of their brain except me.
Yeah.
And I have to remember that. You know what I mean?
And I thought about that too, like being deemed something you're not. Right. But over there, it's not even more black and white. It's more American European. So they have Americans got such a bad stigma over there already. Like, oh, he's hard to work with. He blah, 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 this. Like, he just wants to shoot the ball, don't want to play defense. He just want to blah, 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 do this. And the thing is, it's so hard to, like, make everybody happy, because why do you have one spot for American if you know what he's coming in to do, know? But then if you don't do it, if you don't speak up for yourself, kind of like, they just throw you in a rotation and they can replace you too at the same time. So it's kind of like walking on eggshells out there for anything you do, Like, and that's the thing I had to get used to. I was kind of like not being an asshole saying it, but being straightforward. So like
getting your point across.
Yeah, so that. So what you can move on next to. Like if you want to actually continue to go out and sign me or not sign me, but know what you're getting when I come. Right. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I want to win and stuff like that too, but I also need to do what I need to do when I come for when I come back home.
Right.
I don't want to leave Europe and be done and not have nothing to show for it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing.
No, that makes complete sense, bro, and I'm glad that you kind of that you're doing that in all aspects of, because it's almost like taking back control of your career.
Yeah.
And I feel like for somebody like yourself who literally earned his way to this spot, me knowing a lot of the details from every step of the way, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, you deserve to send it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you put the work in, you put the time in. I've seen your game elevate. Like when I came to watch you play a few weeks ago in the Pro-Am, it's just like, bro, this dude is so fucking cold.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just watching the maturity of your game from me watching you in open gym at Dominguez for the first time, because that was the first time of me literally sitting there and I'm, me in basketball is like I'm breaking it down and I'm just overthinking and I'm watching and I'm just like, there's something special there, bro. Just the natural, and then to just watch like the one clip you posted where you and I worked on this religiously, where it's like in and out cross without getting rid of that extra dribble straight out the movement. Like that's so high level. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Even something as small as me watching the space that you're creating in the initial move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the in and out to the cross, and then it's like that cross, you're taking up so much space that you don't even need the extra dribble.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's such a refreshing moment just watching you, because again, you're such a sponge, and that's why I like to train you. You know what I mean? Seeing your career and where it's at right now is just, it's always like I'm always smiling, I'm always bragging about you, giving you your flowers. Because of the simple fact of me knowing a lot of the backstory. Because I remember I used to always be like, damn it, I said this in the last interview, it's like, how the fuck didn't they win that Skyline? And they had this dude in Paris. Like, who the fuck were they playing against? And then because you were you're one of those people that just constantly gets better.
Yeah.
Constantly gets better. I think every year you're getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
But let's kind of jump off of the basketball tip a little bit and just talk about Tutu the person. Obviously, you're a very popular guy, super loved here in Oakland in the Bay Area. We know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
From the basketball world, just being outside, it's like whenever I see you outside, it's there's just charisma about you where everybody's around you and all those things. Let's talk about the infamous barbecues that you're having. What street is it? Is it
80 and Holly?
80 and Holly.
Yeah.
At mom's house. I was supposed to come this year, but it ended up falling on the weekend when I had my daughter.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, if you schedule something on the weekend I got her, I'm just not gonna be able to make it. But I am gonna make it to one because I see it's something y'all do annually, and it's like it seems like it just keep getting bigger,
bigger and bigger.
You're bringing people from out the country to come in to experience this.
Yeah.
Like, how did this start, and then how did we get to where we are now with it?
So for instance, to start, my mom's from San Mateo.
Okay.
So when they out there in San Mateo, like when I was younger, I think I want to say like around 8, 9, they started this thing called the OG picnic in San Mateo.
Okay.
It's at the Martin Luther King Center, MLK Center. It's dead smacking like their hood, and it's always over 500-600 people.
Wow.
Always, and she's head of it.
Okay.
She's always one of the head of it. She's with my auntie Ursula, a couple of other people, and they put it together themselves, But it stopped. It stopped around, I want to say, like 2011 when somebody got shot, of course. But they had a good run at it, and then they switched the park. It wasn't the same no more, When you switch things, it doesn't feel right no more, So then my mom's birthday actually started in 2012. We just started doing barbecues from her birthday for 2012. A couple of friends from Skyline. Like, it wasn't big at all. Like, nothing big. Like, I have photos from that day, 2012 on. Like, and ever since, I want to say right at 2019 when I signed, I think that became a big barbecue where it's like, okay, 30, 40 people here. Cool. And then COVID happened. We didn't do nothing for COVID. Then 2021, I think that's when I brought the Germans out. I brought my homie Jamal. Never been to the States. Jamal, he wanted to come to the States. So I was like, hey, you can stay, my sisters allowed them to stay at their house in 85ville, 65ville.
Wow, that's dope.
So then I had him and my other teammate, Elijah from Houston, but he'd never been to Cali either.
Yeah.
So they came out here to the barbecue, and that was probably the biggest barbecue at that time. That was like 90 to 100 people, and they had the time of their life because, like, I went to L.A. that same day they got out here, so I was in L.A. by myself, and they was in Oakland by themselves. And, like, for them, it's like you give them whatever, and my sisters didn't understand. I was like, bro, you give them whatever, and they're going to go with it, They don't complain about nothing. Right. I was like, bro, okay. I was like, don't go here, don't go here, don't go here. Go downtown, you'll meet Peanut, you meet all of them, and then they'll just tell them who you are, and then they'll be cool with you. I was like, that's love, Right. People overlook that in Oakland, like, when you know people, you good, like, and they had no problem. They got on BART, bus, everything. And people was like, bro, you got them doing this in Oakland? I was like, yeah, they good. Had the time of their life though, but like, ever since, like, I want to say, like, 2017 is when we really locked in on those barbecues, where we like, okay, we're going to promote it a little bit more. And then last 2 years, we just like, okay, every year we set a tone. Okay, once a month we tell them, okay, barbecue this time, give people enough time to, like, okay, if I need to fly there, I'll fly there, So this barbecue was, like June 24th? My mama's birthday, June 25th. My mom's birthday, around that time. And this probably was the biggest one. I think we had like 120 people this year. We had a mechanical bull, had a jumper for the kids, and like, it's crazy because, like, not only do I get people from out of state, you get people from the other side of Oakland that never come to the deep. Yeah. I got people from Acor coming over. I got people from the lower bottoms coming over, and chilling. Like, no harm, no foul. Like, moms make all her food because she believe in making all her own food.
Oh, wow. I was just about to ask that. So how does the food work? Do people just go buy food and bring it and mom cook, or?
It can be whatever you want it to be. Dead serious. Like, people always ask me, like, what should I bring? What do you want to bring? What do you need to? Oh, moms need some more chicken. All right, I'll bring some chicken.
Gotcha.
Don't worry. Like, some people do it. Some people can't bring nothing, so they be like, oh, I'll give you $10, like, here, because we got alcohol and everything, wine or whatever. Like, you have it, you good. Like, like, As long as I walk around the whole party the entire time, like, bro, make sure everybody good. You need something? You need a plate?
Wow,
You need some water? If you good, you can come over here. Like, cause I don't like people feeling hostile.
Right.
So
or uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Place,
Like, you get what I'm saying? He's dead smack in the hood.
How does moms feel about it? She has to love that, right?
Moms love it. She love when people around.
That's dope.
You gotta remember, she got hella grandkids. I think she got like somewhere between 14 and 18 grandkids.
Wow.
So she loved to have people around. She loved to have people
So it went from like a barbecue to now it's like a block party.
It's a block party now, yeah.
That's fire, bro.
It's a block party. And this upcoming year, I already got plans of what we're going to do for the next year,
Really?
Make it more smooth. And then I want to shout out to my boy, DJ Kenzo. Kenova, that's like my cousin. But he stayed at City with me for like a year. He lived with me at City, and that's when he was my original cameraman.
Got you.
But he switched over to DJing now. So like he went, who he's with? He went Plural. I think he signed to Plural or something like that.
Okay.
Like so, like he's across now. Like he with the he be in Oregon with the track team. He be in Mexico DJing. He be in SAC DJing. He be with the Stockton Kings DJing.
Wow.
So now he big.
Oh, I've actually seen him.
Yeah,
because I see Kiwi be posting him.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
So that's my boy now. So he DJ mom's party all the time. Like he don't care what he doing. He just makes time for
dope, bro.
that party. He just like, give me the date in advance so I can tell my agent we can't do nothing that day. You know.
Dope.
And I want to shout out to him. And then this year we messed up because I actually told him, I was like, bro, like if you got something to do, just let me know. Like, bro, that's money, So he ended up like still coming for like 2-3 hours, but then we didn't have everything we were supposed to have. So he went to West Oakland, grabbed it, came back, had it. But then when he left, his cousin Mo ended up DJing for free. And then you add Mel and Butter in there, they end up DJing for no reason. And then you got Drew Banger. They all end up DJing at some point, like, so they all just chilling, like, and then that's when I was like, bro, I really appreciate that. So I want to shout out to all of them, too, for, helping with that as well, too. So now it's a block party.
That's fire, man. They got the nightlife on smash right now.
Yes.
And I definitely appreciate that. And I see recently you guys had like a live performance out there in front of Mom's house. What you turning mom's house into a venue, man? That's dope though, bro. It's dope. You know why though? You know why I say it's dope is because even you explaining how it's coming about, it reminds you of that sense of community that it seems that Oakland has lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain hoods and certain areas.
Yeah.
It's like to be able to come together, have no violence, and to watch something just grow organically with pure love, and it's all for moms. It's like, that's super dope, bro. You know what I mean?
Now we had a live performance. My homie LV Pussy, he a rapper. He messed with like Russell Tough too. So like I'm starting to realize he gets some of his ideas, but Pussy already got his own ideas too. His ideas is big. This is actually his shirt I got on right now too. Absolutely. To be honest, yeah. Absolutely. So his ideas is like really big, but he hit me like 4 days before, like, hey, it'd be funny if we had a live performance at your house. I was like, I asked Mama, I was like, Mama, they want to perform in front of their house. She was like, man, I've been trying to have another thing anyway. She was like, it's good. He's like, Saturday? I was like, Saturday is good.
Wow.
We ended up having it on Saturday. We had Pussy perform. My homie Les, that's 13 Stowe. He performed. Shantae, a singer, really talented, performed. I think Journey got into the cypher. My boy ISO performed. So like it was nice. It was really nice. Like, he gave us the idea. Mom's made plays. He gave us the idea, pay what you want. So you pay what you want for the plate. It was no pressure. Like, cause if you had $2, that's what you had to eat. You gave us $2. If you had $5, you gave us $5.
That's dope.
Gave us 10. It's good.
That's dope.
So now we're planning the next one, which is probably gonna be another 2 weeks, where we're gonna have some more performances as well. But we're gonna have like jumpers for the kids. We're gonna have free haircuts as well.
Let me know. Hopefully y'all can make it, and
and
that way I can try to help out in any way I can as well. Aside from that, man, what's up with the content, man? Are you still putting out your documentary?
I want to so bad. I really do.
What's the hold up? If you want to share. If not, we don't have to talk about it.
But the content I was doing was with Kenzo. So that was my cameraman. Like I said, like I liked him a lot. Whereas like me and him was always on the same page. Like when we he'll record, But then we can talk back and forth about what we doing right now, you know, like back and forth, like, and we both was like, I don't know what it was, but we both was on the same page with stuff. Like, so when he went to edit, I'd be like, no, like, you know, do this right here, you know, and he got it right away. You know, sometimes I don't know how to explain in camera, like, you know, in that
language.
Yeah, in that language, I can't explain, but he got it, you know. So like, that was a big thing, was doing it with him. So it made it like a little bit more personal doing it with him, you know. I'll probably get back to it. I want to, but right now I'm just like, I just throw out these traveling videos and stuff, vlogs and stuff.
Did you ever put out the part that I did at JB House?
At JB House, which part?
When I was being like interviewed in the back room. Well, I think you were interviewing me.
Nah, JB still got all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
Dropbox, yeah.
I was wondering because I don't remember seeing it.
We did. We interviewed you. We interviewed Coach Wu.
Okay.
We interviewed my head coach from Skyline. We interviewed Beck. We interviewed a lot of people, bro. We got a lot of footage from international, like, because I wanted to make it so surreal, you know, like, you see everything, like, you know, because this year, you know, I brought 2 German girls out here.
I remember you posting that.
Yeah, so I bought 2 Germans. One was really cool. The other one is kind of more antsy. Like, you know, like the area, she's kind of just like
off it.
Like, you know, like, so like yeah, it probably made her uncomfortable, but like, I want you to know where I come from, you know. So when it did that to you, like, now I want you to feel like, that's how I want my documentary to make you feel like, okay, maybe I don't want to go there, maybe I do, maybe I, you know,
right.
Like, I don't want you to just think like, oh, I'm from a happy-go-lucky world, right, and not understand, you know, right. Like, so when I talk to you, you understand now better, you know. It's more sympathetic,
right,
you know.
Right. Man, this was dope, bro. This was a dope update. Is there anything else specific that you got working on that you want to let people know about? I know you going to Finland.
Yeah.
In a few weeks here. Getting better.
I'm putting together a brand too right now. I'm gonna name it Too Crowded.
Okay. That's dope.
So it's gonna be something dope. It's gonna be something cool.
Is it gonna be clothing?
It's gonna be clothing, probably a couple of shirts. You know, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure we're on the lookout for that,
yeah.
man. Anything else before you go? Anything you got to say to the people, man? Anything specific?
Whatever you do, just make sure you're a good human being doing it, smiling through it. You know. This year I probably wasn't a top 5 player, but I was the most sold jerseys.
Salute to that, man. Round of applause, man. Like I said, bro, I appreciate you. This show started with you, bro, so I felt it was only right that we get an update. I think the timing of it is great, considering, you know, the jump you're about to make. Obviously, it won't be the last time we sit down together.
For sure.
We haven't had a chance to get into the gym yet.
Yeah.
The summer's not over, but if it doesn't happen, obviously, you know, it's just, you know, my life is so hectic right now, but it'll definitely happen in the future. Other than that, bro, I'm super proud of you. I love you to death, bro. Continue. Good luck with everything. Obviously, we talk on the regular, so this is nothing I haven't told you before. Again, keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yes,
keep
sir.
Inspiring, keep being a great person, bro. The sky's the limit, and salute, brother.
Yes, appreciate you.
Of course, man. That's a wrap.